Hey, what's going on? What's going on? CoinOpTV subscribers, Robert Welkner here. Welcome to a new video talking about Toys R Us. Now, a lot of people out there have been making Toys R Us tribute videos, rest in peace, honoring Toys R Us and things like that. And I've been watching some of those videos online, and I thought, you know what? I gotta make a video like that for myself, for my channel, for my CoinOpTV subscribers, for anybody new who kind of finds this video as a long OG toy collector, video game collector, posters, clipboards, trapper keepers, anything that Toys R Us carried, anything except I guess Babies R Us, since I don't have any kids. I've been in there. I've been looking around. I've been shopping throughout the years. Of course, you know, we had the Toys to Life video game franchises, Lego Dimensions, Skylanders, Disney Infinity, of course, Amiibo there as well. I've been going to Toys R Us really regularly over the last few years, toy hunting, looking around, making videos on my channel, just checking things out in general. And originally, when it came to Toys R Us, we had heard or we had thought that there was going to be a number of stores closing, but it sounds like in reality they're all going to be closing, or at least in the U.S. or the majority. There may be a few here and there that remain open. I don't know if those are franchise stores or what the politics are, but and before you go saying in comments, you know, blame Amazon, blame this, blame that. Lot of bad decisions made by some of the head CEOs, executives, and investors that led to the demise of Toys R Us. Not really one thing, definitely a lesson to be learned about Toys R Us. So basically what I did is I went over to my Toys R Us and I videotaped some stuff, and I put it together, strung it together, and I want to kind of show you this video and kind of talk about some of my memories of Toys R Us, just kind of share with you. Maybe in the comments you'll share some of your memories. So let me roll some of the B-roll here. So here is my Toys R Us in Los Angeles. This is a couple weeks ago, before they put up the store closing sales signs and the notifications out there kind of letting the world know what's up. Basically, I went in and I started just kind of recording, walking around, checking things out. As you can see, the stock is pretty full. There's a few areas of the store where the stock is a little lower, but you know, it is sort of March and April. And this time of year, you know, it's not really like people aren't stocking up for holidays and Christmas and stuff like that. But one of the things that really stands out with Toys R Us, which you probably already know if you've been inside of Toys R Us, is just displays. As far as the eye can see, you know, here's like the Tommy the Train here, and different displays, statues, posters, very colorful, you know, toys from the floor all the way up basically to the ceiling is what you get when you go inside of a Toys R Us store. Now a lot of people in some of the other tribute videos have been sort of, there's Jeffrey the Giraffe, the iconic mascot of the Toys R Us franchise. Oh, here's, when I was a kid and I saw these cars, these motorized cars and trucks and motorcycles, that's all I dreamed of having. Like, I just wanted to get a car or learn how to drive as early as I could when I was younger. Never really bought bicycles in Toys R Us, but I do remember sort of checking out when they had new kinds of bicycles. You can kind of like pull one off the rack, see how it felt, and check things out. Of course, the Nerf section will be missed, definitely. I'm not the biggest Nerf collector and stuff like that, but when I was a kid, we used to play a lot of Nerf, and Toys R Us always had this big giant wall of the latest Nerf guns and stuff like that. Of course, we're going to be missing some Hot Wheels. You know, they're in different stores, definitely, and you can pick them up online in different retailers, but you know, Toys R Us, if you're a Hot Wheels collector, that was like kind of the way to go. So here I am kind of walking through some of the aisles. But yeah, definitely some Star Wars stuff, the Micro Machine stuff on clearance already. So now it is fast forward to the beginning of April or whenever is when you watch this video. And right now, my Toys R Us in Los Angeles does have the store closing, going out of business sign up. And there's some discounts, but not huge discounts, about 5 or 10%. I don't even know if it's up to 10% yet. And one of my friends who's an employee over there at Toys R Us sort of said that the business has actually been booming, you know, because people sort of know and have found out that the Toys R Us stores are all going to be closing. people who want to get some of the stuff, or maybe who are waiting, or are collectors, or maybe they have kids, or something. They're planning for the future, are just going into Toys R Us stores now in droves, and their sales are like actually up, which is good, because we want whoever they owe money to, we want them to be able to pay that back. They filed the bankruptcy, and they're going to be owing money, and they're going to close stores, and that's all part of the politics of this. Of course, no, you can't have you can't have a Toys R Us store without a big giant Star Wars section and Marvel section. Here's some of the a look there. I see big giant Groot statues in the rows, and Spider-Man. Something also that's pretty cool with Toys R Us is, even though there was a lot of politics for where toys would go and the shelves and the aisles, it was always pretty cool to just see like a mismatch of different things. Like we've got Spider-Man helmets next to Darth Vader helmets. We got Iron Man next to Hulk, and right around the corners some DC figures. There was always kind of a variety of things out there, and that was kind of the plan. It seemed like, was just basically get in there, get feasted with your eyes and the colors and the shapes and sounds. And speaking of sounds, there's usually always displays that had like talking displays and information. Here's some crazy kid with a little magnifying glass. Again, awesome looking displays everywhere. Some Ben 10 figures. Shout out to my man Yuri, who did the voice of Ben 10 for years. And okay, so now it looks like we're over in some DC stuff like that, and some Transformers. And now I'm a big fan of Voltron. We've got sort of Voltron has kind of seen a resurgence in there. Now I'd like to get some of the Voltron 88 large figures that they've released. A little pricey for my blood, but if I see those on clearance, and soon, maybe I'll try and pick them up if I can get them half off or something like that. I'd like to know in the comments below, like, have you been waiting? Are you thinking to yourself, hey, there's some toys, here's a bunch of Funko Pops, of course there's a big section for those. Are there some toys and figures or products that maybe you've had your eye on in Toys R Us, and maybe this is a good thing for you that they're going out of business and their sales? Got big giant Minecraft section. I used to collect some of the Minecraft figurines here and there, and then some of the knockoff of the Minecraft toys. But here's just a look at like how the toys go from the floor to the ceiling, basically. Here's there's two amiibo sections in my store. I think this is one section with amiibos. You can see things are filtered out. Here in these cases are the video games that wrap around the edge, and here's some displays here. You can see the Nintendo Switch, the Xbox One on display. One thing that was always kind of funny that I remember with the video games is whenever there would be some new consoles, and we were in there shopping around Christmas or holidays or Black Friday, there'd always be, there's some blank walls there. There would always be confused moms and dads or parents who weren't familiar with gaming systems. They didn't quite know what there was to buy, so they'd always ask the employees. And the big one, of course, that was confusing with video games was when the Nintendo Wii came out with the Nintendo Wii U. There was a lot of confusion in there. I remember being in the store. Here's some Skylanders, of course, Portal Masters. Give yourself a rank up. Overpriced Skylanders, so you can get some of those guys on discount. But yeah, that would always be the thing. It would always be confusing to figure out which system was the newest system, what it played. Here's some clearance items, because it seems like the old Skylander Superchargers and the previous games always get discounted in clearance. But here's all right, sorry I'm breaking up the action here, but here's the Skylanders wall. You can see the sign there, Toys to Life. You can see this side used to be, on the left, used to be Skylanders, used to be two sides of the aisle were all Skylanders. Here's a lot of product up there. Of course, when it comes to exclusives, we got the Skylanders Eons Elite. A lot of those were Toys R Us exclusives, and once those are all gone, that's it. Here's Lightseekers. They kind of try to jump in on the tail end of the Toys to Life hype. I did some unboxing videos and some gameplay of Lightseekers. I know some of my Portal Master friends out there play this game and like it and they collect the toys. Never really appealed to me all that much, mostly because the mobile game, I didn't think was all that fun. Not a whole lot of Disney Infinity stuff here. Some of the starter kits, if you want to get some of those. And my Toys R Us is pretty much dumped all of the Lego Dimension stuff. I mean, most of it. There was a couple corners that still had some. This Pokemon stuff and Nintendo stuff. This used to be all Lego Dimensions figures. That whole wall there. And I thought I'd switch it up a bit. I was sort of shooting a lot of the toys and boy stuff. I thought, let me go over to the girls' side of things. Now, Claire's and some of these other stores, they actually have like sections of Toys R Us, and I think those places will be okay, kind of on their own. They'll just be kind of losing a big chunk of aisle space and eyeballs. Something about Toys R Us that people sort of forget is, since they've been around for so long and they have so many stores, they're always in like the prime locations, the best spots in the cities and suburbs. I mean, for the most part, I'm sure there's exceptions, and now there's going to be this big giant void of like empty stores. We'll have to see what happens if Walmart start moving in, or maybe Amazon stores will take over or something. It'll be interesting to see what the takeover will be. Of course, Lego, when you go to Toys R Us, rows and rows of Lego stuff. And here I'm filming sort of like some of the displays. Just kind of cool to see the Lego figures in pictures. And my Toys R Us would always have little cases where they would have the Legos built in kind of dioramas, and you can see them in action. So that was kind of cool. You can see a lot of Legos here on the shelves, but companies like Lego, Mattel, a few other toy companies, manufacturers, they've already seen a little bit of dip in stock because of the Toys R Us going out of business fallout, because basically there's going to be less places to buy their toys. Now, of course, Lego does have toy stuff, and you'll always be able to mail order stuff, and there will be Target, Walmart will have toys and things like that for sale, but they don't have the reach or the space, the volume. So here's a little example of little dioramas there showing off the Calico Critters. I never collected any of those, but just kind of wander around the store, checking out some areas that maybe you don't really think about. Some different stuff for all ages. Something else with Toys R Us that I'll be missing is the big giant huge like board games, tabletop games section. I think I'm kind of migrating my way over here after we get past some Minnie Mouse and Cars little mini seats there and couches. But here we're kind of making our way over to the board game section now. That was always something. If it was your friends were coming over, or family was coming from out of town, and you wanted to go pick up some Monopoly or Clue or Trouble or Sorry, or any one of these ones, Trivial Pursuit games, Toys R Us was kind of like the go-to spot, because you knew they had like basically every possible board game, or not board game, but different tabletop games to play. And they also had their little displays here, and usually Toys R Us had like their little specialty. It looks like Clue, Monopoly, their little silver editions. They always had their anniversary editions. There's the Nintendo, Zelda. Man, if they start putting the board games on clearance, I might have to run in and get that Zelda Monopoly, because I've had my eye on that for a while. Trouble is, I don't really have a lot of company myself over much anymore to play board games, so that might have to be a thing. Maybe some of this clearance stuff like that will help people go in and buy some of these board games, and we'll invite some friends over. This is near the entrance here. I remember when the Skylanders was really going nuts. They would have these big giant displays for Skylanders, and then of course when the Star Wars movies would come out in the entrance, they would swap those out. We're back over in the video game section. You can see they got some Nintendo Switches, some of these. I'll be curious to see if these consoles and handhelds and these accessories go on sale or clearance or what. Some of these Sphero things, those are all like $200 each. If those go on sale for 50% off or half off, man, that'll be crazy. Again, just panning through, showing off the video game section, because that's where I spend a lot of my time, in addition to sort of buying the toys and stuff like that. So there's sort of the outside there before the clearance and the going out of business went up there. So it was fun making this video and filming the inside of Toys R Us and talking about sort of my memories and just, the love. I mean, when I was a kid, we were very young. I'd go to my parents around the holidays, and my dad would basically say, "Hey, pick like 10 things that you're interested in. Point to them and show me the box." And then we would all go home, and then my parents would come back to Toys R Us like the next day or a couple of days later, and my dad would sort of buy a few, three or four of those things off the list. Never. I wasn't a spoiled kid. I never got everything off my list, but it was always interesting when Christmas would come around. I'd unwrap the gifts, and I had a little bit of an idea of what I was getting from pointing things out. But never, there was still sort of that surprise factor and just the wow factor of looking around and saying, "Oh man, this would be a great toy or figure or ship." Millennium Falcon, a lot of Star Wars stuff when I was a kid. But that was kind of thing. But yeah, it was fun filming this and talking about the tribute to Toys R Us. What's sad is the employees that'll be losing their jobs, these businesses that will be losing money, and the bankruptcy and all that is not very fun and exciting to talk about. And, I just wanted to make kind of a quick video. This turned out a little longer than I thought, but share your sort of thoughts, maybe the things that you used to buy at Toys R Us, how you feel about the stores closing and things like that. Share that in the comments below. Let's just get a conversation going. Thanks a bunch for watching this video. For CoinOpTV, we'll see you guys and gals next time.